Hi students, welcome to the fourth part of the sectors of the Indian economy. Already in the third part we learned about the historical changes in sectors and how the importance is rising for the territory sector. But in this part fourth we are going to learn about the where are most of the people are employed. Means previous in the third part how the sectors and their production was increased we learned, but now how the employment is going to be generated, how the employment is increased in each sector, that now we are going to learn from this fourth part. In the graph 2 presents percentage share of the three sectors in GDP. Means what the graph is going to show here, it shows the share of the percentage share of GDP of three sectors Let us see the graph 2. This is the graph 2, share of the sectors in GDP in percentage. They are given the primary, secondary and tertiary in 1973 to 74 and 2013 to 14. In 1973 to 74, most of the percentage of GDP is there from tertiary and primary sector, and it was there less from the secondary sector. If you'll see in the 2013 and 14, share of the sectors in GDP is decreased in the primary sector and it was mostly increased in tertiary sector. Means the share of the sectors in GDP is also changed within these 40 years. Why? But what is the reasons for these changes? Let us discuss right now. Now you can directly see the changing importance of the sectors over the 40 years. The remarkable fact about India is that there has been change in the share of the three sectors in GDP. Okay. Even though the share of the GDP from the each sector it was changed, it was developed, but the development has not taken place in the employment. The development has occurred in each sector in terms of production, but not it was occurred in terms of the employment. The graph 3 shows that the share of the employment in the three sectors in 1972 to 73 and 2011 to 12. Let us see right now. See here, this is the share of the sectors in employment, in which sector how much people are employed. This has given in this table. They had given from 1972 to 73 and 2011 to 12. Most of the people in 1972 to 73, most of the people are employed in agriculture sector, second in tertiary sector and third in secondary sector. But if you see in 2011 to 12, compared to the 1972 to 73, the employment in the the share of the employment in the primary sector it was decreased, but in the secondary sector it was increased, and in the tertiary sector also it was increased. Where it was decreased only in the primary sector. Previously it is a 74%, right now it is a 49%. You will see in the 1972 to 73 secondary sector it is 11%, now it is a 24%. In 1972 to 73 tertiary sector is a 15%, now it is the 27%. The primary sector in the primary sector the employment was decreased. In other two sectors secondary and tertiary sectors the employment was increased. So previously we observed already the graph 3. In that if you see, the primary sector only continues to be the largest employer even now. Even though in 1972 to 73 it was there the 74%, in 2011 and 12 it is there the 49%. But if we comparatively in the three sectors, if we compare the employment in the three sectors, the primary sectors only giving the largest employment to all the people even right now. Right. Why did a similar shift out primary sector happen in the case of employment? Because not enough jobs were created in the secondary and tertiary sector. What is the reason to give the more employment mostly in the primary sector? There is not enough jobs in the secondary and tertiary sector, but the industrial output or production of goods went up more by more than 9 times during the period. See here, you will see in terms of the production it was increased 9 times, but you will see in terms of the employment it was not increased much more than 1 time. By employment in the industry went up around the 3 times. Okay, means in the industrial sector, if you see the production, it was increased the 9 times, but the employment, if you see in the industrial sector, it was increased only for the 3 times. Same thing happened in the tertiary sector. Service sector rose by 14 times, means in the service sector, whatever the service it is going to provide, previously if it comparatively with the previous, it was increased 14 times, but the employment rose only 5 times. Means here the production is going to increase. Production means, I mean to say that production services are going to be increased, but the employment is not going to be increased. As a result, more than half of the workers in the country are working in the primary sector, mainly in the agriculture. Means because of that reason only, okay, in the tertiary sector and in the secondary sector, the production services are increasing, but they are not able to increase the employment. Because of that reason only, more than half of the workers are still now employed in the primary sector. Means primary sector means mainly in the agriculture, but it is a quarter of the GDP. Okay, means even though most number of the peoples are working in the primary sector, means in the agriculture, it is giving very less production in the GDP. Okay. At the same time, secondary and tertiary sector produce 4/5 of the produce, but they employ less than half of the people. You see here, even though more than half of the workers are employed in agriculture sector, it is going to produce the quarter of the GDP. But even though less than the half of the workers are employed in the secondary and tertiary sector, it is going to produce the 4/5 of the product. Means here in the primary sector, the workers are more, the production is less. You will see in the secondary and tertiary sector, the employees are less and the production is more. Okay. By this, we are getting that the workers in the agriculture are not producing as much as they could. You will see here the peak. What is mean? Means the agriculture sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Agriculture sector, in that, how much workers are going to work? More than half of the workers. Okay, in the secondary sector, less than half of the workers, and tertiary sector, less than half of the workers. But even though there is a more than half of the workers are there in the agriculture sector, those who are working, they are producing very less GDP. But even though less than half of the workers are working in the secondary and tertiary sector, they are producing more GDP. Means here if you see, in agriculture sector, the workers are more, the production is less. In the secondary and tertiary sector, the workers are less, but the production is more. It means is that there are more people in agriculture than is necessary. Means how many workers are needed for in the agriculture field? More than that, the people are working in the agriculture field. Okay, అంటే కావాల్సిన వాళ్ళకన్నా ఎక్కువ మంది అగ్రికల్చర్ ఫీల్డ్లో మనకి వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ యూ మూవ్ a few people out, production will be not affected. Means for example 10 people are working in a agriculture field, but to complete that work only it is enough of 5 people. Okay, but they are working 10 people there. Even though if you remove the 5 people from there, the production means the output will not be affected. That is the condition in the agriculture sector right now in our country. In other words, we can say that the workers in the agriculture sector are underemployed. Okay, here they are given one example. You see here, the Lakshmi, a small family, okay, poor family who belongs to the small farmer. She is having the 2 hectares of unirrigated land. Unirrigated means which is not having the supply of water. Okay, in that she is going to grow the crops of jowar and arhar. How many members are there in the Lakshmi's family? 5 members are there in the Lakshmi's family. Okay, everyone works throughout the year. In this same 2 hectares of land, entire family, the 5 members are working throughout the year because there is no other work to do. Means why they are working in that same field, 2 hectares of land throughout the year, means there is no other work to them to do. Okay, here everyone is working, no one remains idle. If you see that 5 members throughout the year, everyone will work, no one will be remains idle, but their labor effect gets divided. Everyone is doing work but not fully employed. Okay, means everyone is going to be work in that field but they are not fully employed. Fully employed means they only will do the work for 2 hours or 3 hours, means they won't work for the entire day. It is the meaning of everyone is doing work but not fully employed. This situation is called as underemployed, means whenever some people are working in any field or somewhere else, they looks like a working but they are not fully employed. This type of situation only we will call it as a underemployment. Means they are working less than their potential. It's nothing but the person, those who are working in the agriculture field, they are working less than their potential. Okay, but this kind of underemployment is in contrast someone who does not have a job is clearly visible as unemployed. Okay, hence it is also called as disguised unemployment, means where the person is going to work. Okay, that means that they are working less than their potential, means less than their capacity. Where the person is working less than their capacity, this type of employment is called as a unemployed. This unemployment only will call it as a one more name, that is called as a disguised unemployment. What is meant by disguised unemployment? Once again I am repeating, disguised unemployment means where the workers are working less than their capacity or potential. This type of employment is called as a disguised unemployment. Means here they are looking like a working but they are not at all working as per their potentiality. If they are having the potentiality or capacity to do work for the 8 hours but they are not at all getting the 8 hours work, only they are working for the 4 hours, means it is less than their capacity. That type of unemployment is called as a disguised unemployment. Thank you. Okay. If any two persons of Lakshmi's family will work in any other landlord's field, then Lakshmi's family can able to earn some extra income through wages. Means previously all the 5 members those are there in the Lakshmi's family, they are working in the same field even though they are not having the fully work. Okay, but now out of 5 members, if the 2 members are working in any other's field, they are going to get more income than before. Means you do not need 5 members to look after the small part. 2 people moving out does not affect the production of their farm. Means previously the 5 members are used to work in that same field which is having the 2 hectares of land to the Lakshmi, but at the time whatever the production is going to get, okay, if now we are going to remove the 2 persons to work in the other fields, means how many persons are working in that field? Only the 3 members are working right now. Means even though the 2 members are decreased in working of the same field, but the production will not be affected. Okay, the two may move to work in a factory, the earnings that family will increase. Then the earnings of that family will increase. Means if they will work in others field or if they will work in any other factory, then what is going to be increased? The family income is going to be increased. At a time they can produce more from their land. Means if they are going to work in any other field or in any factory, we should not think that they cannot able to produce much more production from their land. Why? Because they need very less number of people to work in the 2 hectares of land, but more people are working. Even though if we remove some people from that field, the production is not going to be affected. That is the meaning of this sentence. At a time they can produce more from their land even though they are working in any other factory. The same situation like Lakshmi's family, the same situation is there in some lakhs of people also. Means in the others families also. So the person those who are working in agriculture field, if we will remove some people from that agriculture field, means the production which is getting, the result which is getting, the output which is getting from the agriculture field is not going to be affected. Okay, right? Income of the people and the family will increase who take up other work. The same situation also there in other sectors, means this type of situation not only there in the agriculture field alone, but the same situation is also there in other sectors like service sector, where in the service sector means in the urban areas like painters, plumbers, repair persons. This person cannot find everyday work, painters and plumbers and repairs. Okay, some people pulls the cart for a whole day, but they earn very little. For the entire day they will pull the cart, but how much amount they can able to earn? Very little amount. They are doing this because they do not have better opportunities. Means here in our country the people are not able to find the better employment opportunities. Okay, so how we can able to increase the or how we can able to generate the employment opportunity in each sector, let us see in the next part. Thank you.